So I am actually currently working from home, which is why I can quickly pop in and do this quick clip. So hi, hello, I'm Melleny. If you would like to get to know me better, all my social media links are linked down below. And basically, in the last couple of months, I've been challenging myself in various ways to tackle my TBR and whatever else. In August, I did 31 books in 31 days. Spoiler alert, I did not accomplish that. In September, I kind of took it slow, but I was focusing a lot more on just getting through books. And in October, I decided, which is obviously this month, I decided I would challenge myself to probably one of the biggest challenges ever, which is to finish a book before starting another one. So what does that mean? Basically, I have a habit of picking up books and reading them, and then reading a couple pages in each one every single day, up until the point where I finish it, and then I pick up another one to take up its slot. However, that is different, that has changed, because I thought I would see how many books I could actually end up reading if I just sat and read it as much as what I would normally read 5 books, for example. So just another little note of this challenge, I read sometimes at work for work because I do various content creation things, and that allows me the privilege and the opportunity to read books at least a little bit every single day to then make progress. So I did make a little caveat that if it was a workbook, I would just read that at work. However, that did not always work out the way I wanted it to, nor has it aided me in any way. So it's about almost the middle of the month, and I'm finally sitting down to actually start this video because I moved. If you can't tell by the different space that I'm in, I no longer live in my own place. I live with my boyfriend. We moved in together. We are now officially dating. And so what that means is that for the past 2 weeks, literally since the very 1st of October, I have been unpacking boxes, making this place as nice as we possibly can, seeing what we need, and in addition to that, I also started a new workout program because I wanted to take my health more seriously. So because of all of those little things combining, it has made it very, very difficult for me to actually sit down and read and actually do my normal reading routine in a day, which is basically I read for a little bit at work, I then come home, I read for a little bit, do a little something, and then read again before I go to bed. That hasn't been happening at work. I have actually, now that I have to go into work a lot earlier, so I'm no longer waking up later because my work is no longer as close. I'm waking up at 5 with the sun, which is really great. I'm hoping to do so a little bit more and maybe read in those mornings, but I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. But moving forward swiftly, I wake up, I go to work, but because I get to work at about 7, I do try and take my lunch, and I am back to reading during my lunch break. I did this last year throughout the whole lead up because I was living back home, and so it's just great to be back into that rhythm of being able to just sit and decompress for a bit at work. Then I come home at the moment, and it's like I just need like 5 seconds to decompress, and then up until this point we've just been unpacking and organizing my books and stuff like that. But hopefully from this week, which has hopefully been, well, it's actually been my hope for the past couple of days, is that this week I'm hoping to actually get into a reading routine / a better routine for workouts. So I want to kind of get to the point where I get home, I change, I head to the gym with my boyfriend, or we do the gymming thing because we can gym from home, and then come back, get ready for the evening, eat food, and then I can sit and just rest for the rest of the evening. We'll see how that goes. This is obviously still a work in progress sort of situation, but I did want to update you on what I have read. So first things first, I have finished Brandjaar. So Brandjaar is a Afrikaans book that I'm reading with Tandem for the 3rd book, but we obviously need to read book 1 and 2. I still need to read book 2, which we'll talk about, but I finished Brandjaar on like the 4th of October. It's been a while, and I really enjoyed this. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun Afrikaans book, and it wasn't what I expected, and I'm excited to continue on with the series. And then on like literally a day later, I finished Hedge Witch, which I was reading at work, and then because it's such an easy middle grade read, I decided to keep reading it. Hedge Witch follows our main character Cassie, who just wants to run away from her school that basically is kind of abusive towards her, as well as like she is just being picked on by groups of girls. And so one day she gets called into the headmistress's office and told that because her mom has not been in contact for the past 7 years, she's now been declared an orphan, and because of that she will be moving to an orphanage school, and she just doesn't want to do that. So she decides to run away, and in doing so gets almost captured by, I think it's goblins. And so the story begins of how Cassie becomes a witch, because in this book Witches aren't born, they are made. It takes a while. Everyone has like an affinity for it. You just gotta learn. And so I really enjoyed this. I finished this. I'm also giving this 4 stars. I mean, I don't think there were very few middle grades that I'll give 5 because it really just have to bring the inner child out of me. But I really enjoyed this. This is on the thicker side, and I got really surprised because my copy is actually signed by Sky McKenna, so that was really cool. I then yesterday decided to read Bite Risk, or at least continue reading it. I got about, I don't know, like 60 something pages in, and I decided to DNF it. I just can't get into this. I was really excited for this book, by the way, just as like a little precursor. I thought this would be really fun. It's a werewolf book. It's set in a town where, or it's set in a world where basically all adults or people who have gone through puberty are now being forced to change into werewolves once a month. There's this whole system of like getting a caregiver, making everything safe, and we follow a main character named Sel. I actually thought Sel was a girl for the longest time. Turns out he's a boy. And yeah, I just couldn't get into it. I lost interest really quickly with this one, so that's that. So I finished 3 books for the month so far. It sounds really not that bad, but it could be better. I am also currently reading Serpent and Dove. This is a buddy read that I have with my friend Roseanne. I was reading this last month, or I started it in last month, and I've gotten about 50 pages in. I haven't continued it since, and I really do want to, because honestly I really just want to continue on with the Serpent and Dove series, because I've recently hauled the other 2 books in the series, as well as I just purchased myself the hardcover edition of The Scarlet Veil, which is set in the same world and stuff like that. And then the very last book that I'm currently reading, which is a total of 2 because it's Serpent and Dove, and then I picked up Spellcasters by Crystal Sung, and so far I'm really enjoying it. I literally just started it today. And I mean, it's like 200 pages. I see also illustrations throughout, so I'm actually hoping to read this and finish this today, which will push me up to a 4 books read this month. But as much as I would love to pick up Serpent and Dove, I have another conundrum. As I said, I only am trying to pick up books as I finish them. What that means, oh my gosh, I just got like a thing to say that there isn't enough space on my Kindle. I need to read Fyrfrete, which is the next book I need to read in order to pick up Can You Do It, which is the book that the tandem read along is actually for. Also, look how cute my little Kindle case is. This is also not the right size Kindle case, but we won't talk about it. So I need to read this. I will potentially be going to Pretoria later today, and in doing so I'm hoping to read, it takes me about, in an hour I will probably read around 60 Afrikaans pages, which it sounds like a lot, but considering that I usually read 100 pages in an hour for English books, it makes me feel slow. But yeah, so I'm hoping to pick this up and then read this tonight, because I really need to get going and I need to finish this so I can pick up Can You Do It, so that I can pick up the other books. For this, it's been a very long clip. I really do apologize. I'm currently working. You would have seen that as like a precursor to this. I'm going to work for the next 20-ish minutes and then call it a day. But the plans for today are to finish Spellcasters by Crystal Sung, because I just need a change, and then I'll be going out with my boyfriend this evening to celebrate some stuff. Some really great news, which I'm hoping I can announce maybe at the end of this week. I will announce it. And then I'll pick up Fyrfrete on my way to climbing. So this is before my boyfriend gets back, and this is on the way to Pretoria, and then obviously on the way back, because I'd like to try and finish this tonight. So ideally I want to finish 2 books today, which will put me at 5 books for the month, and then I can pick up Serpent and Dove guilt-free and just try and finish that as much as possible from today, tomorrow, and then pick up Can You Do It. That is what my reading plans are looking like at the moment. I don't know how successful it's going to be, but great news is that my friend Roseanne is coming over on Sunday, and we've decided that together we're going to do a 48-hour readathon together but separate. So like basically on Friday after work at like about 4:30, we're going to start our timers and read as much as we can up until the point where we meet on Sunday, and then continue reading in person together. That's going to be fun. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm so sorry. just finished filming a quick little video. I figured I wanted to do a little bit of a reading update because it has been a bit of a minute. As you can see, I've just done the video, so here are the books, but I also have some cleaning up to do, adding to the catalog, so I have a lot to go through today. I want to give a quick little update before I basically settle in and do my house duties, my home duties, my homework, if you will. I am currently reading Serpent and Dove. I am failing the challenge of only picking up a book when I finish it because I don't roll like that, and for me it's like I don't know which one to pick and read, and then it's easier for me to read a book that I'm really enjoying, and then after that or before that read one that I'm not 100% into. But anyway, so I'm reading Serpent and Dove. My goal is to get to page 100 today. My friend Rosanna's already finished. I'm buddy reading this whole series with her to also get to the Scarlet Veil. But right now I'm on page 74, really enjoying it. I'm re-annotating this, which I'm enjoying as well because I think I have a lot more on point tabs this time around. I am then also listening to the audiobook of Catfish Rolling by Clara Kamagi. So this one is a romantic realism book that has like a really cool spin on time. I'm listening to this, I'm liking the audiobook so far. I think it might be easier to listen to it than read it, just based off of my experience thus far, but I'm enjoying this. I'm only like 25% in, aka page 62 or 63. Hoping to continue this one pretty soon. And then I need to read Heartstopper Volume 1 today because I have a live show this week for Volumes 1 and 2 that are coming up for the read-along. I've been slow hosting, like a really slow, not really too interactive on my work profile stuff for work. And the last book that I really do have to update you on is Feed Flitter, which I still haven't finished, but I'm making my way through as quickly as possible. And now that my partner's home, I am going to pack away these books that I just took out, and I will check in with you a little bit later. Hi, so I'm just gonna be popping in and I'm telling you that I am editing my August vlog. I have a little bit of updates to give you, but I'm not quite here yet at the point where I can give them to you, simply because I want to get this video done and dusted. It was supposed to go up yesterday, which was Monday. Today's Tuesday. I'm gonna try and push it for tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Obviously that's how the days in the week go, and so that I can have another video. Oh my gosh, 2 videos in 1 week. I know, madness. That I filmed yesterday to go up on Friday, so I'm really excited for that one. I think it's really fun. I think it's talkative. It's not something incredible, like don't expect the highest of quality. I'm excited nonetheless for it, and yeah, I just need to get going on this, but it's taking me a while, so that. Also, there's no power, which is why it's so dark in here at the moment. Like, it looks quite fine with this camera, but it's actually pretty dark. Hi, so it's been a bit of a minute since I have updated you. I also apologize in advance if you can hear my partner. He knows this, but I feel like he does forget sometimes that he is a very loud human when he plays games. But yeah, welcome to my little reading nook. I really want to make this a nook because it's such a small part of the flat. It's got like this little corner. This is like our spare cupboards, and this is my thriller shelf. And the door is like right there, but it's like tucked away quite nicely. I don't know, I'm still deciding. It will probably move, it might not. Time will tell. I actually might move this even into the study, but the thing is, if it's in the study, then I can't read comfortably there because my partner would be there playing games with his friends, and I can't expect him to be quiet whilst I read. But I figured it was time for a little bit of an update because honestly, it's been a minute. You guys totally deserve an update. It's been a bit of a rough month in terms of updating this vlog and everything. It's been crazy. I say that and it's like the 18th today, but honestly, it's been stressful financially with things and just in general. I don't 100% remember the last clip was that we spoke to each other was about, but I want to just clarify that I got a new job, a new position at my job. I got a promotion, and I am so ecstatic about it because it's exactly where I want to be. It's going to work with who and what I am, like what I am as a human, but I mean like what I like to do and so on, and who I am as a person, and just like the things I want to do with my career. And I'm glad that my boss saw that potential, and I'm excited to hopefully meet her expectations. In saying that, it's also a very busy month at work. There's a lot of events that are happening at the moment, and that means that there is a lot that we are doing at the office to prepare for said event. Luckily, it's not 100% me doing everything. In fact, I think I'm doing the least amount, but it's still a lot of brain work. So now we're gonna get on to the reading part, which is I am currently reading a little graphic novel that I requested on NetGalley because I went on a NetGalley requesting spree. It's called The Mistwalker by Stephanie Fett. I've already read Catfish Rolling. I think I might have spoken about this. I enjoyed Catfish Rolling. The audiobook was really interesting. I think that I struggled a bit with the audiobook and I ended up DNFing it because of this, but I don't think it didn't have anything to do with the book. It had everything to do with not the narrator either, but just my preferences when it comes to an audiobook. The book itself jumps a lot between present and past, and there's no clear definition or there's no clear line that separates the two in the book itself, which means that when the narrator was narrating the book or like, you know, going through the process of recording it, there's no clear difference. I do think, like now that I think back to it, she maybe changed how young she sounded in the past for the main character, but I don't think that was enough of a difference for me as a listener, and so I struggled a lot with keeping up with the plot, especially because I found it to be very interesting but very intense. Like, not that you need a lot like high intellect, but it was so intricate that it's something that you would prefer to read, and that was my comment as well. It's just like my feedback to the publishers when it does deal with something like time shifts, that the time shifts would be made a little bit more clear in the audiobook. It doesn't have to be clear necessarily in the physical, but in an audiobook you should try and make it as clear as possible. As I was saying, Catfish Rolling I think will make a really great physical read, but as an audiobook it's a bit tricky. Then I also have A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stasia Stark, and I started listening to that today and I'm obsessed to the point that now that the announcement of Amazon coming to South Africa has been announced, it's officially kicking off in South Africa at the start of 2024. They made the official announcement now. Before it was a little bit of speculation and just like oh, we would like to blah blah blah. This is like the official announcement. By the start of 2024 we will be kicking it off with Amazon, and so I added Caught This Cruel and Lovely to my wish list so that when we get our Amazon, I'm hoping they have their print on demand services, because I have a feeling this is self-published through Amazon. I just need to double check, but if that's the case, I'm going to order it through there and I'm going to reread this book because at the moment I am absolutely loving it. I do think it has a lot to do with the narrators. The narrators are doing such a fantastic job with this book so far. I am, because I've been listening to it at work, so it's on my phone. About 60% in, I listen to all 60% at work and on my way home. I don't listen to audiobooks typically in the car because I struggle sometimes to hear, because I don't know, my speakers are from 2006, guys. What more can I say? But I am devouring it. I have told my mom and my friend Roseanne to read it because I was just like, you guys need to read this. I need someone to read this with me. It is like a 500-page fantasy book, and I do know there's 2 books so far, but I'm really thoroughly enjoying it so far. It's getting 5 stars in my brain. And then I've got like 2 other ones which I haven't started yet, and then as I mentioned, I have a whole lot. So in terms of reading, I am 60% into The Mistwalker by Stephanie Fett, and I am going to finish it today because it's just a comic. I will say like the app is kind of buggy with the NetGalley thing, because I also wanted to do some more updates, which will include Stephen and Daya. I am on page 216. I started reading it this morning at work and I was like, damn, I really wish I had continued reading this last night when I had finished editing week 3 of August, which if you want to check out my August vlogs, I'll have the playlist linked for you. But I stopped in the middle of a page because I had to do work. But my goal is obviously to get to page 300. If somehow I have time, I will read past that and maybe finish the book if I can. If not, I'm not stressed about it. I also want to start The Thieves Gambit as well as Heartstopper. I have a live show for this on Monday next week. I'm not gonna go too far into those because I don't really have much to say about them. I also have my Kindle. Guys, I really am in the biggest reading mood at the moment. I don't know if you can tell, and I feel like my job is hindering me until I bust that. So on Kindle Unlimited, I have borrowed Bride of the Shadow King by Sylvia Mercedes. This is because Illumicrate is doing a special edition of this book, and I wanted to make sure that if I like it enough, I'll get it. Obviously, so that's where we're at with that. I'm getting like a whole lot of NetGalley books. So the book I'm trying to get to is Vierfrete, which I'm not very far in. I do need to continue reading it. I do want to kind of get to, I'm only on page 47. I want to ideally get to page 100. Will that happen? I don't know. It is Afrikaans. We'll see how today goes, but right now we're gonna sit together and we're gonna read, which is like the whole intent of me doing this, so we have some b-roll and not me just chatting away, guys. Jumping back into Mistwalker, and I will see you on the other side of it. so I just finished Mistwalker. This is the cover. I really enjoy this. I think it's a really great little story. I'm interested to see where it goes because we kind of have our main character Temperance, who is this half oak. Enjoyed the color palettes that were used across and like how it was used. I'm not gonna get into it because like obviously this is not an art analysis, this is just a cute little book. I really enjoyed this, and this is translated from French. Huh. Oh wow, that just like zoomed straight in. Well, hi, hello, it is Saturday. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a little bit of an update because I do have one to share. I have finished A Court So Cruel and Lovely. I really enjoyed that one. I don't know what I'm gonna rate it, probably like 4, 4.5, maybe 5. I don't know, I just really enjoyed that. I'm still thinking about it and I just want to get the physical, reread it, and then continue on with the series. So there's that. I also have now finished Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahone. Definitely having a better reading month at the moment. I'm 10 books in and it is the 20th today? The 21st. Today's the 21st. So we're getting there, slowly but surely we are getting there. Yeah, so that's what I finished. So because I finished Serpent and Dove this morning, I am now reading Son of Darkness. Here is the cover. So far it is very, not convoluted, but like it's very heavy reading. It's one of those more like high fantasy books and war based books, and yeah, so far it's interesting though. So I'm about 50 pages in. I'm probably not going to read this too intensely. By that what I mean is I'm not going to make this like my main focus. I'm probably going to read maybe 50 pages a day of this. I don't want to push this too hard just because it is quite a heavier read and I just want easy reading, man. But with that being said, it is finally time for me to jump into full swing again. There is like a read along happening at the moment. I am a bit behind, but I'm hoping to catch up on. They are on chapter like 30 something. Let me find. It's like a lot of the book that I would have to read, but I probably won't read all of that in one day. I am just going to read this until I get bored or like I want to take a break, but I will be reading the hardcover because I read a proof beforehand, and then I will be also annotating this and preparing for Iron Flame. I'm so excited. I do need to clear my really disgusting credit that I have right now with The Office. I may have overspent a little bit, but it is what it is. Like, I'm happy with those books. I'm planning on reading this a little bit further today just because I really want to get into it. My main goal is to maybe get like 100 pages into that, or into this, which is, it's chapter 9. That is not very far, but that's okay. And then in addition to that, I want to organize the very last of the books that are just hanging around here because I am sick and tired of them and I kind of just want them to get a place of their own. And so what I will be doing is I'm going to be listening to an audiobook. I'm deciding between A Hunger of Thorns and The Illusions. Not quite sure yet. I'm so in the mood to read and I just feel like people need to and people just need to let me do what I want to do. Yeah, so that's kind of the reading. Also need to read Heartstopper, Volume 1 and 2 this weekend because on Monday evening I have the live show for this and I kind of want to write down some discussion points or something because I feel like this book is a little bit more, I don't know, like I feel like it's a lot easier for me to talk about fantasies and stuff like that than it is for me to talk about contemporary. So maybe just something to help guide me in what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm hoping this week something really cool arrives at the office for me to hopefully create content with because of my new promotion, which will be starting on the 1st of November, and I'm hoping to create some pre-release content, which will be like the first 2 weeks of November. It's all very exciting. And then obviously next week Friday I am heading to Cape Town, so I'm hoping to get as much reading done today and like this weekend as possible. I am going to a party tonight. Kind of regret saying yes to that, but I was in a moment, man, and it's like celebrating a 21st and it's been a while since I've done something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my laptop and I'm going to get to listening. I think I'll listen to The Illusions. I've got that on my, but I also feel like fantasy. It's gonna take me 12 hours to listen. I probably won't finish that today, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna get to adding these books that aren't in the catalog into my catalog system so I can go and add them into their spaces, their places. Let me get to it because I'm hoping to do that all before my boyfriend gets back, and when that's done I can jump into full swing and get absolutely immersed into this beast of a book. I'm so excited. I just keep seeing things and I'm just like, also this is like the plainest hardback ever for a series they made so popular, became so popular. They really could have done a little bit more. Hi, hello. Coming to you from my little setup. I finally organized my cart, but I wanted to do a quick update before I settle in for the evening, and I probably won't film because I'm also feeling really tired at the moment. So what that probably means I am probably gonna go to bed in the next 20 minutes. I'm making some tea, so that will also probably just speed that along real quick. But I did want to pop in and do some updating. So we'll start off with what I finished. So I finished reading The Illusions by Liz Hyder. I really enjoyed this. I got the audiobook from Melleny and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun, and I don't know, I don't know why I keep saying really a lot, but this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed how we explored, I want to say the 1800s. It doesn't say, but this is pretty much around the time that film was invented and it was getting development and stuff. So when the book takes place, it has been invented, and we follow a cast of characters who are musicians and illusionists and tricksters and the whole works. And as it says here, a magician, trickster, liar, thief, a whole lot. And I don't know, this is just so interesting. I really like this a lot. I thought it was entertaining, which is what you expect from a book. I've given it 4 stars because for me, even though I enjoyed it a lot, there isn't a part of me that's like, yes, 5 stars. Will I recommend it to certain people? 100%. If you like historical, or not even. I think the audiobook makes it very accessible. I don't know about the physical reading experience, but the audiobook in itself was really enjoyable. I think that the narrator does an incredible job of creating these incredible characters, distinguishing between them quite well. Like, I never got lost between who or where we were in the story, which I really enjoyed. I basically listened to it from yesterday to today. It is a long audiobook, but an enjoyable one nonetheless. Then, I don't know, this is going to make me feel a little bit sad, but I was so excited for Son of Darkness. It sounded so perfect, so up my alley, but as I was reading it, I mean, I got to page like 66. I think that also a part of me is just not in the mood for very long-winded fantasy at the moment. I thought I could be, but turns out I'm not. And I think especially I'm not in the mood, and I'm very rarely in the mood for this sort of fantasy where it's more like brutal and about war. Like, that's not even the problem. I like books about war, about like fantasy wars. And I don't know, just something about this I just couldn't get into this time around, or like this time. I'm hoping that I will probably want to pick it up again in the future and give it another go. But I found like, I didn't know who the characters were. I was 60 pages in. I was still like, where are we? What's going on? I mean, it is only like 10% of the book, but it just wasn't doing it for me. So I'm very sad to have DNF'd this one, but that's okay. We move on. I have also started Immortal Longings. Today has been like basically the day that I've read. I'm on page 58. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm tabbing it at the moment. I have just got 2 sets of tabs in at the moment, like one for quotes and one for what I believe is important stuff. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Roseanne. This is my proof copy, and I'm just like, I am annotating this a little bit, not something too hectic. I'm just, you know, going through, underlining some sections. I haven't done any commentary. I will probably do that in the future. So far it's like really well written. Obviously it's written by Chloe Gong, and she's done a fairly good job in recent history. I really am enjoying this. I'm hoping that we can read more of it this week. Obviously it's only 367 pages, which means that if we read 50 pages a day, tomorrow's 100. It could take us the whole week, but we're probably gonna read more than that. La. Maybe even 100 pages a day, which would put me at page 150 tomorrow, which is quite a decent way in. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I can't really tell you too much because we're still learning about it, but so far I've definitely noticed that it's very intriguing. This is a Cleopatra and Antony retelling. We're set in a world where things are very interesting, in my opinion. We're in a city that it is clearly overpopulated, that people are running out of basic need things, and we have characters who are able to jump into other people. Basically they can detach themselves from their body and put themselves into other people's bodies, and this is, a lot of people can have this, but it also seems apparent to me that based on the color of your eyes it means very certain things. So our main character Keller has yellow eyes, which marks her as one of the royalty, one of 2 families, and then there are people with gray eyes, silver eyes, that who are able to jump into other people's bodies, but no one is able to jump into their birth body. And then I'm sure we'll learn a little bit more about the different colored eyes in in the coming pages. But yeah, definitely enjoyable. I'm pretty sure I've read The Sea now, which I really like. I like how this is now depicted because of that. I have also started reading Heartstopper Volume 1 because I have a live show for this tomorrow and I need to get going in this. I want to write down some points, but I think I'm going to stop where I am at the moment, which is on page 45, just because I do want to write down the points that I want to discuss tomorrow. So we'll see how that all goes. So last week in October, which is insane. Last full week, obviously, is what I mean. I am very much planning on taking the last 2 days of the month, the 30th and the 31st, off to do some fun things, but I figured I would do a quick update with you back from work, obviously. And I finished Heartstopper Volume 1 at work because I have a live show for this tonight, and I need to have read Volume 1 as well as Volume 2, which I'm going to jump into right now. And I'm really excited. I really enjoy these comics. I'm excited to see how it ends in Volume 5, but I have yet to start Fourth Wing. My plan is to start this today, hopefully after the live show. It doesn't intend to go on for too long, but I'll have to make dinner right afterwards, and then I'm going to jump into Fourth Wing and read to end of chapter 4, which is only like 53 pages. But I also have a Lumi Crate package, which I have been stalking. Like, no one's tomorrow. They could pick a look at it together. It's so pretty. Should I have bought this? Probably not, but I did, and I'm so excited. It is the Lumi Crate edition of Sword Catcher by Cassandra Clare. This is the fun cover. You can see like it's got some foiling on it, which is quite pretty. We've got the spine, and next is the back, and these are the edges. How stunning. This is definitely what I love the most about it. Is we have some stunning in-paper art, which is different but similar on both sides. This is my favorite part about it. Look at that. This style of foiling, or this like specific like floweriness, reminds me of The Cruel Prince for some reason. Don't know why, but it does. Then I can't remember. It's a digital signature that's in here. Also, I'm being very quiet because my boyfriend's here. He's around. And then yeah, the sprayed edges are just purple top and bottom. I'm just checking for any defects, because if there is, I'm going to be sending an email. But so far, this actually looks really good. Ooh, there's also a bonus scene, as you can see. That's quite cool. Nothing on the back. I'm going to read you the synopsis because I feel like no one really knows what it's about. But two outcasts have the power to change everything, but will they grasp the hand of destiny? In the vibrant city-state of Castellan, nobles and criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and the next hedonistic thrill. Yet as an impoverished orphan, Cal's prospects look bleak until he's stolen from his old life to enter a new one of luxury and peril. He's to become the Prince Connor, Aurelian's body double, shielding the prince from all dangers, and his sword catcher. As his sword catcher, he and Connor will become as close as brothers. Yet Cal lives for one purpose: to die for Connor. Lancaster is an Ashkari physician, part of a community ostracized for its rare magical abilities, but after a failed assassination attempt brings her and Cal together, they are drawn into the web of the mysterious Ragpicker King, ruler of Castellan's criminal underworld. He offers each of them what they want most, but as Lynn and Cal sink deeper into his world, they uncover an extraordinary conspiracy. As long-kept secrets unravel, they must ask themselves, can forbidden love bring down a kingdom? And will their discoveries plunge their nation into war and the world into chaos? Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion and talks about how this is very similar to the Darker Shade of Magic. It's been a while since I've read a Darker Shade of Magic, so it would be interesting if I read each of them and then I could tell you, but at this point, I think this is stunning. One of the prettier versions I have of books, and that's fine with me. And that's it for now. I'm going to sit, read Volume 2 before the live show, which is in 2 hours. How exciting. Like that, we're all caught up. I'm about to sit and read. If you can hear my boyfriend, just ignore it. I'm about to sit and read, as I mentioned like 5 seconds ago. I'm going to read on Fear Flitter, and then I'm going to read Immortal Longings, and then fourth weighing. That's kind of the plan I have right now. It is 7:30. Hopefully I can get quite far in before I get tired, but we shall see.